about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get,
bag 'em up.
it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic.
Conscious blacks are dirty Moors to bring the trash can. Oscar the Gross, the Hebrew bareface or masked man. A new high priest returned from the dead, walking out the shallow grave by the hair of Freemason head. Lemurian Moor, decapitate a magistrate or any more debater. Traitors fingers on your pizza, serve back a waiter. Liquidator, sell out instigator. Preset voltage, shock Morris defibrillator. Sitting on a metal chair with the feet in water. Torture, got your daughter, enforcing law like Drew Ali taught her. Cry and beg no mercy, prepare for slaughter. Won't wait till midnight, daytime marauder. Not for the booty, but help to their brother. Righteousness stalker, shouldn't have crossed this border. Vampires scared of an order of daywalkers.
Bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic.
Say what you can say, back it up. But leave something for me to blaze like the fire, but the pork ain't coming out the flame. Going for it. Think you pull it out, then you in for it. Put it in your mouth, then you're ignorant. So far, never died yet. Cycle back to a private act. About to get touchy. Some say, look, face ragged up. Put on my pale birthday skin suit on for some random acts. And cycle back from what country? Head shrunk to potatoes crunchy. Back country from the lows. Eating Humpty Dumpty. Process, not the object I suppose. Wild card, something fresh, wrap it up. Come tell you the rest, right?
Bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic.
Bag 'em up. Opponents in opposition. Truthfully, I put them to sleep. Bagging up's not my position. I just listen. Let they loose lips fill my clips. When I squeeze these thoughts, seize the growth of nonsense. They pretense. Triggers our truth sense. Hence, we may get tense and commence offense. Their words meant to get. They ricochet and spray. Since bullets have no names, we actively decay. The way they project and present correct. When they respect the check, allow them to resurrect in retrospect. Or dialects firm for reason. Taking kindness for weakness stimulates like gun season. We are in a state in which you may relate. For those that have yet to reach our stage and relate, that although we stay in a state of building more than breaking, there are some that have forsaken their honor and must be taken.
Bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic, bag 'em up. It's about to get ugly. It's about to get, it's about to get ugly in here. Grab the mic.
This that new bitch.
I'm telling you shit through numbers though. I don't like counting, man. Like the counting stuff. Ancestors, man. Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefenso. We that two things tramp on top of me, man. Sounds like an E flat ring, quattro doors, ablaze with my circle, in bold my C circle, leans back, but not that high. I'm a bee, but I'm not that fly. Bugging you, I'm not that kind. Look like a mean mug, what did I do? Try to relax. Let your feet hover, fall off your path, let the leaves suck you. I didn't mean that. You said you needed intensive care. I got the weed pack, cocked 10 bags of your head. You said you need that. With the tail, I brought the whole steed. Giddy up, wasn't funny. What you call money? Bring the green back, but greed is always left intact. Papa, pro bono, et malo, pro in defenso, pro bono.
Progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs. No, proclaim lower self, project higher than rockets. Profound like fork tongues and sockets. Protection lacking, project in a direction away from blacking or be lacking. In a zombie procession, most profession keep you from progressing, denying due processing. Prosecutor wants no impropria persona in full life for obia. Prodigal son, nautical, astronomical one. All pro, never implausible, cause probable. Proactive, not passive, minds captive. Problem, children angry and hyperactive. Needs more probiotic. Pro-black is pro-death. I'm pro-seeds and process. Pro-democracy, Moors keep me perplexed. Not hearing innocence, Kirkman Bay's Moors profess. Seating no Moors in the back with no protest. Spiritual work is in progress.
Speaking pro is best, a point I emphasize, no stress. Meaning attend to what is or is to be, what's not less. Communications are testing verbally, I express my progress and high probability for private we opt to get. Opportunities that set our plots in check. To apply the domino effect, a story connects. More important than the past project, hence we document to step correct when we reflect. Plus self-respect to detect what's real and focus on growth. Just what it is and reduce the theme of this verse, so take note. I proactively promote the quotes that I wrote when enlightened. Stimulating my state to be one more grateful inciting. Affirmations that heighten implementation and writing. Healthy reminders and setting the calm and minded the fighting. Or more like a dance, the mental train. Or what I'm saying, like Coach Nim said, it's often the weak that complain.
Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefenso.
Pro bono, progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no.
Speaking pro is best, my progress project. I proactively promote the quotes that I wrote.
Islam Moors, peace and love to all the Moors. Worldwide. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. And of course, honors to the Prophet, the mastermind, who tried to make everybody else mastermind, but people want to play games with you. Want to play games, want to play fiction games with you. You know, such thing as Malcolm X. Anybody calling him Malcolm X, you're a traitor and a sellout. Because we know his name is Malik El-Shabazz. And we know L is Moorish. Stop playing games like y'all don't know what's up. But you like to play games like you don't know what's up. So we're going to let you know what's up right now. From Autobiography of Malcolm X, 1964. Not long ago, the black man in America was fed a dose of another form of weakening, lulling, and diluting effects of so-called integration. It was that farce in Washington, I call it. Oh yeah, and anybody calling you black, they're a traitor too. Anybody calling you African, whatever, they're a traitor. Anyone calling you people of color, they're a traitor. A sellout. The idea of mass blacks marching on Washington was originally the brainchild of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, A. Philip Randolph. For 20 or more years, the March on Washington idea had floated around among Negroes, and spontaneously, suddenly now, the idea has caught on. Suddenly now, March on Washington, Farce on Washington, sorry about that, El Haj. The Farce on Washington suddenly popped up. Overall rural southern Negroes, small town Negroes, northern ghetto Negroes, even thousands of previously Uncle Tom Negroes began talking march. Anybody telling you about marching, they're a sellout. Anybody telling you about march for your rights, they're a traitor too. Watch them, especially them, because they're sending you out into the open. You got nobody looking at your back or anything like that. And these people aren't coming with fire hoses and stuff like that. Their fire hoses sound weapons now. Their fire hose is robots out there watching you. Their fire hose is drones dropping stuff on you. Their fire hose is you think that that's pepper spray. It's not pepper spray. That's not pepper spray. If they're spraying some stuff and then your eyes are burning and your nose burning and you can't talk and then you're going to take the cracker milk and pour that in your eyes so that you can be, please, your ass shouldn't have been out there marching in the first place. Because if you honor El Hajj and all that stuff, you know, marching is farcing. Marching is farcing. There's no such thing as marching for anything. That's farcing. Anybody telling you march, they're a traitor because it's really farcing. Nothing since Joe Louis had so coalesced the masses of Negroes. Groups of Negroes were talking of getting to Washington any way they could, in rickety old cars, on buses, hitchhiking, hitchwalking, even if they had to. They envisioned thousands of black brothers converging together upon Washington to lie down in the streets, on airport runways, on government lawns, demanding Congress and the White House some concrete civil rights action. Isn't that the same stuff people did right now? With their little arms go march on KKK's lawn, demanding them to do something. What'd they do? They kidnapped him, didn't they? What'd they do to him? How come they just kidnapped him? How come they didn't just yield to the demands of the farcing Negroes? Why not? Oh, because they know that that's their boy that they sent out there to rile up all these people on some arms BS, and these people aren't even gonna throw a bullet at a cracker, much less pull a trigger. They're not even gonna throw a bullet. But they're out there marching though. They're out there this and that. Oh, and then he gets kidnapped, and then you don't realize that that's their boy? Why did they take him? Why did they take everybody? How come they just took him only? You don't think something's wrong here? All you people out there with arms and all that stuff, and then the one guy who's the founder of the stuff, he gets kidnapped and nobody's not questioning what's going on here? You people are that incompetent? Oh, we know you're that incompetent because you call yourself black, Negro, people of color, and all the other BS that you really shouldn't be calling yourself. But, you know, our people, like Noble Drew Ali taught, only learn at the point of a sword. Only when the sword point is near them is when they learn. And then, you know, most times bullet points are going through them and they still don't learn. They still want to play. The Moors don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to the Moors or whatever. And then that's because of the Moorish sellouts who push this as some religious thing. The Moorish sellouts who push this as some club thing. The Moorish sellouts who push this as some sovereignty whatever thing. The Moorish sellouts who push this as everything that it's not. And then the dummies are looking at the dumb Moors, the dirty bastards, as what it means to be a Moor. They're dirty. Why are you looking at them? Why are you looking at the dirty Moors as the pinnacle of Moorish excellence? You're not looking at, like we were talking about, I was talking with a Moor the other day. I don't know who is playing games out here. I don't know who's playing games out here. But we come from the generation of Moors that studied from the master teachers. Like, that's who we studied from. We didn't study from Rick James Bay with a YouTube page. We didn't study from him. He didn't even exist in the minds of studious Moors. Claire Smith Bay, we don't know who she is, where she come from. And then how come everybody's sending her stuff around as if she's credible? Ain't nobody know who this lady is. Where she come from? What happened to the master teachers? How come nobody's pushing their stuff? When's the last time somebody sent me a Hakeem Bey video? They don't even send his stuff around anymore. Why are you sending me as clowns? That's all. Clowns. Regular. This was national bitterness. Militant, unorganized, and leaderless. Predominantly, it was young Negroes, defiant of whatever might be the consequences, sick and tired of the black man's neck under the white man's heel. The white man had plenty of good reasons for nervous worry. The right spark, some unpredictable emotional chemistry, could set off a black uprising. The government knew that thousands of milling, angry blacks not only could completely disrupt Washington, but they could erupt in Washington. You already know these Negroes aren't erupting anything. That's why they let them march. Why do you think they let them march? Why do you think they didn't stop them at the state line and say, no, you can't come in here because you black guys are gonna burn the place down? No, they let them march. They let them march right up to the slave auction blocks in Washington. And these people think that they're free to march? No, you're a slave. That's why they let you march up there, because you're a slave. Because that's where they used to sell the slaves at. In Washington. Washington Monument and all that stuff is an obelisk. It's not a Washington Monument. That's an obelisk from Kemet. Why do they have a Kemet stuff in Washington? Oh, because your dumbass doesn't want to be North African. You want to be Negro, black, colored, African, black Indians, and all this other BS. And these people stealing all your stuff. These people took presidents, put them in statues, sitting in your poses and all that. You didn't throw one egg. You didn't even throw an egg at Lincoln sitting on your stuff, on your throne. Nothing. You didn't even pay attention when he freed the Moor. Nothing. Did Garvey say do for self? Did not the prophet say unite with your own? And he said that coded. Because unite with your own means declare your nationality. But the dummies who want to keep calling people Malcolm X didn't get the point. The dummies who want to keep calling him Marcus Garvey and all that stuff, when he said that he's a maroon, which means he's a Moor. And if he's a Moor, that means he's home in the Americas. He's not foreigner. Oh, but you guys kept calling him Garvey, which gave the jurisdiction for these people to do whatever it is they wanted to do to him. And of course, the farcing Negroes just stood there and let it happen. Because they already know that they have these people. We're talking about 60-something. You know, Farce. That is from Drew Ali. And who you got? One guy saying he's L. And he wasn't even saying he's L because he knew how dumb his people were, that they weren't even going to get it. He said it didn't matter, passport says Malik El-Shabazz, but you know, the people could call me Malcolm X because that's where our people are at and all that stuff. All that same BS that got him murdered. Accommodating people's ignorance when ignorance is no excuse. And honors to Elijah Muhammad and all that stuff when those people killed him. And then Moors, because somebody sent me something today about Sabir talking about, yeah, don't question NOI, question the Moors. What do you mean don't question NOI? What do you mean don't question NOI? They're sellouts. They're traitors. Farrakhan is one of the biggest traitors out here because everybody who has any type of historical information about the Nation of Islam knows that the Nation of Islam came from the Moorish Science Temple of America. All of them. All of the founders came from Moorish Science Temple. All of them. And everybody knows that they banned fezzes. Everybody knows they banned nationality cards and started playing black games with people. Calling Khazars Jews or whatever like that and calling you black. I mean, how they steal your birthright, give it to the European by calling them Jews, because everybody knows that they're not the Jews. They're the synagogue of Satan. So how come they talk about secret relationship between blacks and Jews when those people aren't the Jews? The Jews are the blacks. How come there's a secret relationship between the Jews and the Khazars? The Jews and the Ashkenazis? No, they're not going to go there. Because if they go there, that means they're telling the truth, which would mean they lose their IRS funding. Because you have to lie to get IRS funding. You have to lie to be able to go to the prison and then get paid to go to the prison to do a program in prison that's going to keep people in there. What do you mean? They don't keep people in there. People leave prison. So if they leave prison and they're calling themselves black, they're still in prison. What are you talking about? Freedom from what prison? I'd rather be prison in there than prison in my mind. Because like we said, we know Moors in prison. We know Moors in prison that they got charges. They got so much charges, they're not coming home. And guess what they did? They didn't play black. They said, we're going to be grand sheiks and all that stuff up in here. And we're going to have Noble Drew Ali Day up in here. And we're going to have a phone up in here. And we're going to call Grand Sheik Kudrow from our phone in prison. And we're going to tell him to send us DVDs in prison so that they could watch DVDs in prison. Maximum security, prison. Certain people can't even get a book in there. These Moors are getting DVDs. Forget Grand Sheik, come teach us and all that stuff. No, just send us some DVDs and some books. We'll be all right. And guarantee it's not going to be a revolving door, because anybody who comes to us in here, they're not coming back here. Because if they come back here, we're going to fuck them up if they come back in here. Especially if they're young people. And that's coming directly from the Moors in prison. Don't come back here. Because we're going to beat your ass if you come back in here. Because we gave you everything it takes to save a nation. Don't come back in here. Nah. NOI is not doing that. NOI is keeping you in prison. Whether it's mental prison, physical prison, whatever the prison is, their job, which been their job. Just go look up Eric Phelps, Vatican assassins. Go look him up. He exposed these people. They're Prince Hall and all that. Just like all these Moorish Science Temple fakers playing this religious stuff. Prince Hall, Scottish Rite, and all that. That's what they are. That's what they are. And they're not changing their tune. They haven't changed their tune in years. But then you have a Moor telling you, question Moors, don't question NOI. Isn't there something wrong here? There's something wrong when I'm going on House of Reawakening Minds or whatever, and all I'm seeing is fezless, turbanless, scholars up there? Where's these people's fezzes at? What do you mean you got boule and all that stuff? You're teaching Moors and you don't have fez or turban on. What you mean? Since when? What do you mean? How don't you have a fez or a turban on? We know that that's our culture if we're Moors. We know that Noble Drew Ali said Moors. Wear your turban and fez. So if these Moors are calling themselves boule and all that stuff and they don't have fez or turban on, what's that telling you? That tell you something? Or are you that dumb that you don't see what's going on? You don't see what's going on? You find me a Seer video without his fez or turban on or something like that. Find me something. Find me something without him wearing some type of headwear to represent the perspective that he's presenting. Find me something. So we're talking about master teachers here. We're not talking about some dingbat who just came yesterday, decide to do some YouTube videos. People playing games with you. And they're going to keep playing games with you until you figure this stuff out. Because ain't nobody out here telling you what it is. Except, the few righteous, faithful Moors sticking true to the program. Other than that, you're around traitors and sellouts. And they know. The White House speedily invited in the major civil rights Negro leaders. They were asked to stop the planned march. They truthfully said that they hadn't begun it. They had no control over the idea. They had no control over it. The idea was national, spontaneous, unorganized, and leaderless. In other words, it was a black powder keg. Any student of how integration can weaken the black man's movement was about to observe a master lesson. The White House, with a fanfare of international publicity, approved, endorsed, and welcomed a march on Washington. This is the so-called devil. So hold on a second. So black guys have a brilliant idea. We're going to march on Washington and let them know our rights. And then the guy who they're marching against is saying, oh yeah, sure, here's the permit. Come on, march. And then the black guy is saying, all right, let's go. Everybody, come on, let's go. We're going to march Washington. You don't realize something's wrong here? You don't realize something's wrong, huh? You know why you don't realize? Because you haven't been following master teachers. You haven't been following master teachers. You haven't been listening to master teachers. You haven't been studying from master teachers. You've been following dingbats whose duty it is to keep you in the state of confusion where we are right now, 2021, that there's Moors saying they're going to take vaccines or whatever. This is what Moors telling me. Moors telling me, oh yeah, I talked to some Moors. They say they're going to take a vaccine because, ain't nothing in it and all that stuff. Conspiracy. And then they're going to get, that's your master teacher? Your master teacher is the guy in China telling you, oh yeah, American nationality and we're Moors and all that stuff, and we're the ones that's going to save the nation because we have the Moorish document for Moors to travel all over the world and all that stuff. How come you never traveled anywhere with that? No different than the UCC people never showed you the bottomless account. How come they never showed you the account with 1 and 50,000 million zeros? Which would mean that, they did this thing. How come they keep telling you to go do something? How come these Moors are telling you? Talking with Grand Sheikh Nature. Grand Sheikh Nature said, it's interesting. Back in the day, when we were exercising right to travel, and we were getting locked up and we were whatever like that, the people who were teaching us about right to travel were riding the bus. How come they're riding the bus? They're right to travel. Why they not right to traveling? How come they're not how is it that the Moors who were telling you mock court and all that stuff like that can't do like Rise of the Moors and show you when they went to court and beat their stuff? And then you're not looking at them and supporting them. You're going to support this clown over here who he hasn't even used the travel document that he's got to come over here to show you that it works. And we're still asking all these Moorish consular court people, where's Shalimar Bey at? We want to know where he's at. Don't tell me nothing about you got travel documents and you got writs and you got extraction letters and all this stuff, executor letter. I don't want to hear none of that BS. Where's Shalimar Bey at? Where's he at? We want to know where he's at. That's the question of the day. Where is he at? Nobody answer? Crickets? Nobody's bringing up anything? Nobody's talking about emails that he sent stuff to the FBI and all that stuff. And then as soon as we start, well, do you have proof that when they know that their stuff is closed door and nobody on the outside knows what's going on inside their stuff, but they want proof of stuff? Hold on a second. So how we know that he gave the stuff to the FBI? And how come you guys aren't talking about the email that he sent and putting all that stuff out there? Oh, because you're playing your little game. Which, cool. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing. Because we already know people are going to play their game. We're 100 years late. Juali bin laid this stuff down. And he doesn't get his honors. Nobody brings him up. They keep bringing up their self. They don't even got a picture of Noble Juali in their website, but they're talking about their Moors. They're probably faking. They will mention Noble Juali's name on their website. They're talking about their Moors. You go watch all their stuff and all they talk about is commerce and all they talk about is buy this and sell that and silver and all this stuff. And they not mention Noble Juali. They're probably playing you. Because you can't not mention Noble Juali. You can't. You can't claim you're a Moor and not mention Noble Juali. Any Moor out there, I don't care who they are. If they have a 5-hour lecture and they never mention Noble Juali one time, but they're telling you about all this other stuff that you could do, trusts and all that, they're telling you about all this government, corporate stuff going on and you got to do that, and they don't mention Noble Juali, not once. They're playing you. And you're a dumbass for listening to them not mention Noble Juali, and then you not question it. And then you're an extra dumbass for sitting there watching them with no fez on, no turban on, or anything like that, trying to tell you about some more or something. Please. Standards have been lost. Principles have been lost. Because the people decided to let others learn for them. How's somebody going to learn for you? How is it that you're supposed to study to show yourself approved, and then when we question you on, so here you're studying from so and so, what they teach you over there? Oh, they taught us about this. And you're going down all the fingers and all the toes and all that stuff, showing them what they taught, and then you never mentioned Noble Juali once. When we actually simple stuff, You know what I mean? Who's Noble Juali? Noble Juali, who's that? What do you mean? You have a fez on? Yeah. You got a turban? I see your wife got a turban on over there, yeah? Got a nationality card? Oh yeah, go in the pocket, pull it out, shiny, you know what I mean? Stuff on the back and all that. You got Quran in your bag? Oh yeah, Quran 101, Moorish literature and all of that. So who's Noble Juali? I don't know. The Prophet? That's it? That's all you're coming with? That's all? That's all you know? He's the Prophet, that's it. And then he brought you these 3 books and then that's all you know. Nothing else? Okay. Who's your teacher? Oh yeah, your class. Oh yeah, you got classes. Oh, you want me to join? Yeah, well, send me the flyer. I want to go to class and learn about everything except Noble Juali too. 300? It means 300. 300 for what? You know what I'm thinking about an overdraw leave? Why am I paying $300 for? Oh, because you learn about the commerce and the contract law and the... Interesting. Very interesting. Any student, going back again, any student of how integration can weaken the black man's movement was about to observe a master lesson. The White House, with a fanfare of international publicity, approved, endorsed, and welcomed a march on Washington. The big civil rights organizations right at that time had been publicly squabbling about donations. The New York Times had broken the story. The NAACP had charged that other agencies' demonstrations, highly publicized, had attracted a major part of civil rights donations, while the NAACP got left holding the bag, supplying costly bail and legal talent for the other organizations' jailed demonstrations. It was like a movie. The next scene was the Big Six, civil rights Negro leaders meeting in New York City with the white head of big philanthropic agency. Oh, remember people say don't question NOI when he says philanthropic. That's certain people who Scientology and stuff like that, and then certain people went and joined, and then they have united with Scientology, and then everybody pretend like they don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything and all that stuff. And then now today we're still suffering as a people. And you don't get what happened? You don't get what went down? The white head of big philanthropic agencies bought all your leaders that you're claiming are your leaders today. You didn't realize that they sold you out? Oh yeah, because you're attached to this emotionally. You're not attached to this nationally. Because if you're attached to this nationally, you would have a noose when you go to these marches. And the guy who's at the podium, you be at the bottom, and then you do the lasso thing, and then you throw the noose on there, and then you get him out over the neck, and then you drag him off the stage. And then you hang him from one of these trees out here and make him sway. Strange fruit. You want some strange fruit? Put some of these leaders who sold you out on the trees. Don't worry about highwaymen. Those are the least of your worries. Highwaymen, they're not even point whatever percent of your problem. Highwaymen's not a problem. Highwayman knows that Negro, black, colored people are unconstitutional. And if you're unconstitutional, you deserve to get your ass beat. It's nothing personal. You're claiming unconstitutional. So if you're unconstitutional, that means Constitution does not protect you. And if Constitution does not protect you, then you're about to get your ass beat. They were told that their money wrangled in public was damaging their image, and a reported $800,000 was donated to a united Civil Rights Leadership Council that was quickly organized by the Big Six. Then you can just look up the Big Six so you know who's involved. But when you're talking Big Six, talented 10th and all this type of stuff, you're talking about boule people who sold you out. Just look up Steve Coakley, Black Boule on YouTube. And every video he has on the boule, go watch every one of those, and he calls out everybody, which is why they took him out. Because he exposed all their stuff. Even brought up master teacher Ashra Kwesi to help expose these people Greek love affair that nobody wants to deal with. Nobody wants to address. Everybody wants to pretend like Moors don't know what we're talking about. So just push the Moors in that little corner over there and, get with one of these leaders who been here for the past 60 years and farcing up and down the place as if they have some type of credibility when they're a fraud. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat. So when we talk about Big Six, we're not talking about some 3 civil rights guys. We're not talking about them. We're talking about everybody who calls you Negro, Black, Colored, African, came on a slave ship, Black, Indian, Cherokee, whatever like that. They're the Big Six. Anybody who's not telling you about nationality and birthrights, declare your nationality, just like the international community already told these people since 1900s at the League of Nations that you have a right to a nationality. You're a traitor. Anybody telling you about 13th Amendment, 20 sections and all that stuff, and they're not showing you constitutional convention that allowed these people to make any amendments or whatever like that, because it's supposed to be only 10 Bill of Rights, traitors and sellouts, Moors included. Remember, all these are the Big Six people, the 2021 Big Six. Anybody who's talking about they're in China and they got a travel document for you because we mastered the travel document, and look at us, we've got pictures with the Chinese guy looking at our document and stuff like that, and they never use that to come out here? How come they never use that to come out here? They're able to travel freely and all that stuff. This is before COVID. How come they never once got on a plane and came out here with their travel document if it works so well? Or did they make up some stuff and then put it out there and then have you be the scapegoat? And then you have more and say, yeah, see, we did it and it works. Okay, it works. So if it works, why didn't the guy who made it leave China and come here with it? If it works so well. If it works like that. Like we say, we got a nationality card. So we use nationality card. We also know that we have a right to contract. And any right that we have a right to reserve those rights. And we can get any document from these people if you want to travel. You don't get a passport. Reserve your rights and go wherever you're going. Passport doesn't make you a Moor. Travel document doesn't make you a Moor. Nationality card doesn't make you a Moor. Your mom made you a Moor. But that's too simple. People like stuff advanced. People like pretty colors and tassels on their travel documents and whatever like that for it to be credible. All these people are playing you. All of them are playing you. The only one who didn't play you was Noble Drew Ali. And anybody who acknowledges and espouses his program to you. Anybody else telling you anything else, they're Big Six. They're Talented 10. They're Big 10. They're the supervised Negroes whose job and duty is to keep you passive while you get railroaded by these Europeans in your own land. Every day, all day, with no remedy and no recourse. But then you're not going to go to Rise of the Moors. They got lawsuits on these people, shut these people down quick, fast. No more games, no more playing around with them and all that stuff, because what they do? What they realize? Oh, when somebody violates your rights, you sue them to get the right back. 1 + 1, 5? No. 1 + 1, 20? No. 1 + 1, 8, 9, 7, 7, 3, 2, commas and all that stuff? No. 1 + 1 = 2. They violate you, you sue them. Period. Simple. No UCC, executive letter, you don't need anything like that. Court's right over there. One is a federal on it. You even go in there, they even let you know, oh yeah, this is the form that you fill out or whatever like that. This is how you fill it out. Pay your little fee. Or, in form of papyrus, you don't pay anything. Sue these people. But you're not going to go there because, they got the guns and those Moors trying to shoot everybody because scared Negroes. These are the same Negroes who are going to tell you, the same Negroes who are going to tell you, oh yeah, the slaves just took the slavery and, the white man did the stuff like that. And they're never going to tell you about all the Muslim slaves who were the ones fighting for their freedom, hatcheting these slave masters to death. The ones who were on the boats that were coming over here or whatever like that, hatching at everybody on the boat, sink the boat, everybody's dying. Forget going somewhere, right? Hatcheting people to death because they're trying to violate. But the Big Ten and all those people made you passive. They put you in a compromised position where you can't even fight now. You can't even attempt to. So they are rain down on you so fast, you even have time to pull out something to talk about, shoot some European. You have no opportunity. Drop the ball on that one. Because you didn't realize that these people weren't playing. You didn't realize that well, our people are, we have good heart and we're looking after the... No, we didn't. No, we didn't. We put these Europeans in slavery and stuff like that. What you mean, good heart of something? We go against our brother for some shoes. Look at you wrong. We want to shoot you in the face. Highwaymen rape your mom? Oh, that ain't nothing. Highwaymen sit on your mom, punch her in the face 50 times? No, you ain't do nothing about that. Just let that stuff fly. Just let it fly. Just because we're the gods of the planet. And God is a jealous God and all that stuff. How much devilish, how much people God kill? You know how much people God kill? Then you say down with God, and then you're not doing it. All right. So show me somebody you killed or whatever. I ain't got no issues with these Europeans. My issues with my own. I don't got no issues with Europeans. I don't got issues with pale Arabs. I don't got issues with pale Pakistanis. I don't got issues with anybody out here with a nationality. Because they recognize what's up. Just the other day, at the computer man, fixing the computer, checking to see if stuff works or whatever, pulls up YouTube, video pops up. This is what he says. Oh, Noble Drew Ali. What? What do you mean Noble Drew Ali? What do you mean? Oh yeah, no, I just saw a video pop up with that Noble Drew Ali on there. What do you mean Noble Drew Ali? What do you know about Noble Drew Ali? Oh yeah, I study and all that stuff. I know about all these whatever. How come you have that thing on your face? Oh yeah, just Moroccan face, man. You're Moroccan? Yeah. You know over here is Morocco. What do you mean over here is Morocco? You know America's Morocco? You know about Noble Drew Ali? You didn't know America's Morocco? They didn't tell you that part? No, they never told me that. I didn't know over here was Morocco. You ever notice that Europeans got permission from Morocco to be in America? Yeah, I always wondered why would they be over here? Why would they be over here? Yeah, because this is Morocco too, not just over there. Fix the computer for free. Yeah, Brother Kudro, don't even worry about it. This one's on the house. Ain't no Asiatic doing that. Asiatic wants my arm and my leg to do some stuff that he knows he's not even qualified to do, because as soon as I go home with the stuff's going to be broken again. Your own is the problem. And anything, like we said, go ask Rise of the Moors if these Europeans bother them. Matter of fact, just go on their YouTube and look it up for yourself. Why is a European go into their temple, they got the guns and all that stuff, and Europeans not kicking the door in and doing everything to everybody? Why not? Why are they having a conversation? Oh yeah, we know you guys got the right to bear arms and all that stuff. Yeah. We're not worried, we're just checking. Somebody called over there and said whatever like that. But we see everything's all right. Whatever. Bet you it was an Asiatic that called the highwayman on them. Bet you it was some nigger. Bet you it was some nigger that called on him. The problem is our own. Talented 10, Big 6, boule. That's why we're in the mess that we're in. And what do you people do? Keep following these boule ass Negroes whose duty it is to keep you in this position that we're in right now, that we just can't seem to get out of this. How come we can't get out of this? How come we can't get out of this? How do you deal with Christianized Moors who don't like Noble Drew Ali calling himself a prophet when they believe Jesus is the last prophet? How you deal with them is that you look at them in their face and you go in a different direction. That's how you deal with them. Because they don't even know that they're under Council of Nicaea and Constantine. They think they're under some Jesus, which got created from the Council of Nicaea and stuff like that. So they don't know what they're talking about. Because if they really studied Noble Drew Ali, they find Jesus up and down the damn Quran and the Red Book. Jesus up and down, all over. Jesus everywhere. Matter of fact, he said, we honor all divine prophets. Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Jesus. Why was he saying that for? For those same dumbasses who are going to be denying him. Why did he say that for? For those same Christianized Negroes who, not the ones today that deny him, the ones back then who denied him. The ones back then, like C. Freeman L. said, they missed Noble Drew Ali because they were looking for Jesus. When Noble Drew Ali is Jesus, and Muhammad and Buddha and Confucius all in one body. But they didn't want that. They wanted some European to come save them. As if Jesus is a European or something. Whatever name you want to call him. He ain't no European. But they're sitting there waiting for a European. They got a European on their wall, and they're trying to tell you that you don't know what you're talking about because, Jesus has nothing to do with Moors and all that stuff when he's a descendant of the ancient Moabites, which Moabite is the ancient name for Moors. But Jesus wasn't. So those people, don't even waste your time with them. Don't even try to put any game on them. Don't even try to school them about their Bible or try to school them about their following someone. As soon as they say, "Oh, I'm Christian, baby," as soon as they say that, go in another direction. They're a Morisco, and they will sell you out. They will sell you out. Don't let them know where you live and all that stuff. Don't even walk in the direction of your house if you see them people. The only way that you deal with them is if they come to your door trying to sell you their stuff. Invite them in and stuff like that. Strap them to the chair. That's the only way you deal with them. Those Moriscos. If they knock on your door. Like Jesus Christ Latter-day Saint guys, when they come around the building and stuff like that, They get invite. Oh yeah, come on in. Come on in. You got your book with you? All right. I got one too, right over here. Let's go through your book. Oh, well, thanks very much, but you know, I mean, have a nice day. We have, you know, missionary work to do and all that stuff. Quick fast, they get the hell out. Quick fast. Morisco, boule, traitors, sellouts. That's their position. Right? That's their position that they take. So don't even have those convos. Oh, and we don't say difficult conversation. We say uncomfortable conversations. Because when you start talking certain stuff and they start moving around, looking over there and checking their watch and flipping through the book trying to find pages, you already know that they're not, they don't know what's going on. They're under brain dirty. They're brain dirty. So let them be where they are. Same thing with the Muslim ones. Noble Ali is not a prophet. Muhammad is the last prophet of these days and all that stuff. Just let them go do their salat and stuff, Ramadan and all that stuff. Let those people do what they're doing. You know. Just let it go. Let it go. Woosah. And just let it go. You're not gonna save those ones. Guarantee you're not gonna save those ones. Muhammad is their prophet. They didn't even look up the metaphysical meaning of Muhammad to see what that means. They didn't look up the metaphysical meaning of Jesus. You'll probably get away with talking to some Buddhists because they got nationality. They're not gonna play no games with you. You know what I mean? They got nationality, so they know what's up. Any confusions, they know what's up because all their lessons are metaphysic and all that stuff. Just go look up Confucius teachings. Just look up Confucius teachings. See what stuff comes up. And then once you look up, you know, the Jesus teachings and you see that that's metaphysical, and the Muhammad teachings, and you found out that he was really a Sufi. He wasn't Shiite and Sunni and all this BS that these people talk about. Muhammad was a Sufi. Buddha, Confucius, any of the other prophets, you realize that Noble Drew Ali was a mastermind. Let's go read their stuff. You realize how brilliant this man was and why he did what he did. By teaching our people the truth about their nationality and their birthrights. That they're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. That we're Moors. I don't know how Kush Day gets an hour and 30 minutes, 50 minutes and stuff like that. They keep shutting this down at an hour. So make sure you go check out Kush Day. Check out Rise of the Moors. Check out the sincere ones. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to